Welcome to another vlog. Today is Saturday, March 19, which simply means it is my 1-year anniversary here in China. I thought for this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a couple of pros and a couple of cons of living here in China. Now, keep this in mind. This is from this is my personal opinion from personal experiences. So of course, if you ask anybody else or so, they would have their own opinions or experiences. But yeah, just keep that in mind. So yeah, I can't believe it. It's actually 1 year. Time flew by, and I came here. Of course, I came here for work. During the height of the whole pandemic, where everything was strictly insane in terms of measures and all that. But I got it through one step at a time, one day at a time, and yeah, 1 year. It's crazy to think about it, but yeah. So here are some of the pros and cons of living here in China. Let's start with the good stuff, the pros. So the first pro that I have on my list is cost of living. So cost of living here in China, or at least here in Beijing, has been really affordable. So in terms of savings, if it's something that you're trying to build or you're trying to rebuild, working here in China could actually help you out with that. I cannot speak for others, but in terms of my work and how I came here, like my accommodation, everything has been covered very, very kindly by, of course, my company that I work for. So yeah, but even then, so I have friends that have also stated rent and accommodation here can be decently cheap. So as compared to other places around the world, for example, Singapore, where I come from. So that being said, cost of living, food here is all relatively cheap. So my second pro of living here in China is getting to experience new and different cultures. As much as I've only experienced a tinge of Shanghai and majority of my time here in Beijing, I've been very, very fortunate and blessed to have friends that came from different cities, different provinces, that have many different cultures of their own, very diverse cultures here in general. And let's keep in mind, China is a very big country. So although I have yet to actually go and explore other provinces or cities, I do in some way got to experience those cultures through my local friends here, who have been very, very kind to have shared, their cultures, where they have come from with their specific provinces and all that. So I think that's one of the nice things that I got to experience, and that is experiencing and learning new cultures. My third pro is transportation. Transportation here, specifically in Beijing, has been just top-notch, really, really reliable, accessible, and most definitely cheap. So having come from, of course, again, Singapore, let me relate this a little bit so it'll be a little bit easier. Taking a one-way train, even straight into the city here, would simply cost an individual like 50-60 cents. As opposed, compared to places like Singapore, one way into the city will rock you up like $1.50. And then, of course, having been very fortunate, of course, to travel multiple times actually to places like London, where it's so expensive. One way, taking the one way tube, it's like
240 to 80 quid, which is pretty much like 5 Singapore dollars. So yeah, you can roughly see with that comparison of how cheap it is, well, with transportation here. But for the most part, I take this thing called Didi. It is very similar to like your Uber or just your taxis elsewhere. But yeah, transportation here is really good. So that's another pro. My fourth pro has to be food. So I know with food it's a very large scope to cover, but you know, let's just keep it this way. First things first, Beijing is very international, so it has your wide international cuisines, but I specifically want to say in regards to food, it's more towards Chinese food. And I say this is because, of course, relating to the different cultures, there comes also many different cuisines. Just basing on Chinese food, there is, of course, if your go-to hot pots, or even your Chinese barbecue, or even the famous Peking duck it's something I really enjoy. And for the most part, of course, even though I eat clean most of the time, I do enjoy having a good meal. And Beijing here is the one place that you can find a lot of good food. Oh, and not forgetting the street food here as well. Again, they're all just super cheap, hence making a lot of things affordable. My fifth pro for living here in China is technology. Technology literally is everything here in China, and I mean down to the wire, because everything is done pretty much on your phone, or even on your laptop. So mostly phone, whereby you have all the specific apps that you need on a daily basis, whether it's transportation, whether it's paying for your bills, or you know, just buying stuff in general. Many of you around the world, well, outside of China, will be familiar with WhatsApp. In China, there is this app called WeChat, and WeChat is very similar to WhatsApp. The only difference, or the major difference, is that WeChat has everything, and I mean everything. I mean, you can pay your bills, you can send money, you can use it to store so-called money that, you know, that is linked to your bank account, that is being used everywhere on a daily basis. So just stuff like that. Technology is very crucial here in China. Now I'm gonna do the 5 cons of living here in China. Now, of course, as I mentioned, you know, no matter how good things are, there will always be a few disappointments. But hey, if there are still more good stuff than bad stuff, life is still good. But anyway, these are my 5 cons of living here in China. Number 1, people spit everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Not just on the streets, but even when I was put up in hotels and stuff, like during the early days of quarantine, people spit in the lobby, like not just in the trash bin, but literally on the floor, smack in the middle of the lobby. So that is that's just gross. You know, people spitting in restaurants, on the table, on plates, on the floor again. So yeah, that's one of my cons, you know, where it clearly shot my OCD level up to the roof. Con number 2, it's language barrier. So, I mean, the difficulty is that, of course, we're here in China, everybody speaks Mandarin, and for someone, you know, that doesn't speak Mandarin or Chinese on my first language, it is and it can be very difficult to communicate here. But hey, take it as a good learning curve to learn a new language, because Mandarin can be pretty cool to learn, and of course it's also a good way to as a con as it may be, it will be a good way to experience new cultures as well. But yeah, if Chinese is not in your first language, if Mandarin is not your first language, it could be quite hard to communicate. But of course, thanks to your Google Translate, it could help. But language barrier, that's number 2. Con number 3, never drink tap water, just here in general. Because I mean, prior to coming here to China, I have been told by, you know, friends who have visited here before. I have been told by family members as well, who have came and visited China before, of course, and even now, to, you know, having local friends, many of them have told me never drink water out of the tap, because it's not as clean as it may seem. Even though if you want to try to boil it, it's not advisable. So that's my con number 3, where you can't drink tap water. Con number 4 is and has to also be technology. I know that I mentioned technology as one of the pros, well, at least one of my pros, but it's also, unfortunately, one of the cons, well, at least my con, because as convenient as it may seem to have everything, you know, in your pocket, or at least in your phone, you know, it also could be a nightmare if your phone dies, if you lose your phone, if you know, if you don't have any data, you don't have any signal or Wi-Fi or whatsoever, there goes all of your stuff. If you heard of the saying, don't put all your eggs into one basket, this is pretty much it. So as convenient as it may seem, whereby, you know, technology is great and most needed here in China, it is also a nightmare if you don't have one simple thing working, and it's like a domino effect, everything else, like a ripple effect, even to say, there goes everything else as well. So technology has to also be on the cons list. Con number 5. Now, I think personally this is gonna be my most annoying one, and that is simply having to use a VPN. I think it's definitely widely known that here in China you have to use a VPN, but put it this way, everywhere else around the world you simply connect to the Wi-Fi and you are simply connected to the world. You are connected. Here in China is a little bit different. Here you have to use a VPN, whereby it just basically allows you to get connected with a lot of things. Well, gets you connected with the outside world, outside of China. So VPN is very important over here, which can be very annoying because many times over, depending on the VPN that you're using, the signal breaks down or whatsoever. So everything has to be in line. Now VPN is working, has to be working. The Wi-Fi has to be working. You know, some of the weirdest times I had both working, and I still had no signal. I still just can't even get connected to my social media stuff, or even just wanting to text my family. I just couldn't do that. Or text my family outside of China. So or friends, you know, outside of China. I just couldn't do that because you have to use a VPN. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little vlog of pros and cons. There are definitely more pros and all that, but you know what, I don't want to jam too much of this video time, and that will do for now. And yeah, until the next vlog, thank you for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Okay, actually, before I wrap the video up, I want to give you guys a quick update on CREDO. So CREDO is, of course, officially launched, and you know, we are still making slow progress to it. But here's the deal with CREDO. We're definitely we're officially launched, right? But in terms of our brand and, you know, and all that, but in terms of product wise, it's not been launched yet. And here's the little quick breakdown. There is still a lot of back end work to do before we launch. We officially launch the product itself. We have started pre-sales, like, you know, just easy pre-sales wise, but in terms of launching the products online for people to be able to buy it, you know, on our online website, that is still a lot of work to do. Something which, of course, like even down to designing the website and everything. First of all, I'm designing the website, so please don't judge, because I've never designed a website before, so everything has been done from scratch, which I've never done before, like I said. So everything has been a learning curve, a first time experience for me, and I am still working through it. I'm still, you know, putting in the work, putting in the hours. I'm still working, I'm still grinding to it. But every time I think that we're ready like to go, something else pops up, and it just prolongs the product launch. But yeah, so still a lot of back end work to be done with CREDO. But rest assured, you know, myself, my brother, and my sis, I mean, even my mom, my dad, well, the family, right? We are definitely still we're definitely still spearheading it, where we're doing everything that we can, and, you know, everything that we possibly can to get this up and running. Because I know a lot of people have been asking in terms of, hey, what is your website where we can go buy it? And a lot of back-end stuff for the website still has to be done. I have to do that I'm still unsure of, and I'm still learning on the go. And, you know, like I said, every time I think I'm ready, or at least it's ready, something literally pops up like a curveball. It's been thrown at me, and it just delays the process. Little things like that, and it just, you know, spark, again, a domino effect of prolonging the product launch. But in terms of pre-sales, whereby, you know, friends, families, friends have direct message us, and they wanted to buy the products and stuff, that is the pre-sale, as we're calling it. That is on the road. That has been that's what we've been doing mostly. But in terms of getting it online on the website, it's been a challenge. So, but again, rest assured, we're still trying to put it out. We're definitely going to put it out as soon as possible. Lots of back-end things to do, but we're still going to make it happen. So yeah, that is the quick update on CREDO and where we're at right now. So I hope you guys can understand. Again, in the meantime, if you guys really want it, do drop us a message, do drop us an email, and stuff like that, direct message us on Instagram or even over our email that I'll link below, and we'll get back to you to it. So that is the quick update on CREDO. And yeah, I just came back from my birthday dinner. That was a really cool birthday, because last year I sadly got to spend my birthday last year in quarantine, in strict quarantine. So this year I got to spend it with good friends and good food. So that's perfect. And I mean, simple, easy, and just so much meaning to me. And yeah, great night, really great night. So yeah, I'll wrap up. This is where I'll wrap up the video, and I'll say thank you now thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this whole crazy video of pros and cons and the CREDO update. And yeah, until the next video, stay awesome and peace.